Hey everyone, I'm Joe and today I'm going to be talking about what I read in February 2016, or in other words my reading wrap, which is something I do every month of course. February was a pretty good month overall. I read 8 books, 2 short story magazines and quite a few other short stories. I'm not going to be talking about the short stories in this video because I did a live show only a few days ago on Saturday along with Rachel, Calinardi on BookTube, and we discussed our favourite short stories over the previous month, and it was really fun and I thought it went really well. I was actually almost surprised at how well it went because I thought it would be more awkward considering I've never hosted a live show before, but I think it went brilliantly frankly, and I'm looking forward to the next one. And there'll be an update video saying the exact date and time of the next video the day before it's going up, although it is Saturday the 2nd of April if I remember correctly. I will link the video for that live show and indeed Rachel's channel in the description box below of course, but without further ado I will get straight on to talking about the books. The first book that I read was The Affair by Lee Child. This is the 16th Jack Reacher novel. Despite being the 16th, this is actually a prequel to the very first Jack Reacher novel, and it explains why Jack Reacher left the military and became what he is in all the other books, which is an American ex-military policeman who wanders around America just exploring and being essentially a tourist within his own country, and he keeps getting into situations which he then has to sort of get himself out of. In this, he's still in the military police and he goes to investigate a crime, and what happens in the book is the reason for him leaving and going on this journey throughout the rest of the series. I thought the book was good but not brilliant. I only gave this 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. There's a lot of little plot points, quite more than normal, that frankly I thought were just frankly silly and didn't work that well. And it was very predictable. I mean, the books in general are fairly formulaic. You know, he finds some event that he doesn't like and he gets involved, and he normally gets a little bit beaten up but not too much. In this, despite a few tiny little changes to that formula, it still felt too familiar and it just didn't work for me as well as they normally do. So I do actually have the next 2 books to read in these, but after I've read those following 2 books I'm not sure if I'm going to continue with the series because I'm starting to get a bit almost jaded with the series now. The second book that I read was Grass by Sherry S. Tepper. This is the SF Masterworks edition by Gollancz. I've got lots of the SF Masterworks, as you might already know. I buddy read this with several other booktubers, and I thought the ideas in the book were interesting, but the book did fail in a few biggish areas, and I'll explain why. I liked the ideas, I really did, and the world, which is a world called Grass. It is a world filled indeed by grass, obviously very tall grass in most cases, and there is a race of creatures on it which you are not sure whether they are sentient or not. The people on the planet have a weird interaction with these creatures, and the rest of the galaxy and the other planets know that there is something important on Grass. The writing style was amazing. I really did enjoy the writing style, but the plot and some of the interactions between the characters and some of the attitudes between certain characters were less good, and frankly that's why it pulled the book down for me, and I know that a few of the others that I read it with had that problem. The writing style was good, but the characters were and attitudes were a bit debatable at times, but it was still a good book though. I did give it 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. The third book that I read was The Great Pursuit by Tom Sharpe. This is the 4th Tom Sharpe book I read. The other 3 I read within the last few months, and this again is one that I really enjoyed. It is a humour book. This time it is about an author who gets involved with a publisher who is has less than good morals, and he goes to America and all sorts of chaos and misunderstandings occur on every side. The previous 3 books, I laughed till I cried. My face was, literally tears down my face, and I felt as if I was going to break a rib. I was laughing that hard. This didn't quite have that effect. I thought it was still as brilliantly well written as the previous 3. Really phenomenal. And it's still very intelligently written, and I would greatly recommend it. It just didn't have that painful ability to make me laugh till I thought I was going to actually be sick. The 4th and 5th books that I read were The Killing Moon and The Shadowed Sun, both by N.K. Jemisin. This is book 1 and this is book 2 of the Dream Blood duology. So I will do a proper review on these in the following few weeks. So I'm not going to say too much now. They are a fantasy duology, and the city in question, which is Gujarati, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, is where the both books mainly take place. In this world, there is a sort of a form of dreaming where you can sort of enter somebody else's dream, and I'm not going to say too much about it because it'd be a spoiler, and it's more fun to experience this idea yourself. But it's a really interesting idea, and I really did enjoy the 2 books. The first book and the second book are not direct sort of sequels as such. The second plot line is affected directly by the events of this book. It's got a few of the same characters in, although in fairly minor roles, and I just really enjoyed them. I gave both of them 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and I'll talk about them in a few weeks' time in a proper review. The 6th book I read was Adulthood Rights by Octavia E. Butler. This is book 2 in the Xenogenesis trilogy, the first of them being Dawn, which I really enjoyed. This, I still thought it was good, but it didn't have the same impact, and the ideas didn't quite work as well as the first one did, in my opinion. Basically, the idea of the first book, and indeed the sort of world that these books inhabit, is that there is been an apocalyptic type event. Humanity is practically over. There's a few people living in caves and sort of abandoned buildings scattered over the earth. A race of aliens called the Oankali come along, rescue everybody they can, and they heal them. And their idea behind the Oankali is that they are genetic traders. Their ability to manipulate and deal in genetics and DNA is extremely high. And basically their deal is they will help humanity to not be extinct, and indeed put them back on Earth at the price of changing what humanity is on a very fundamental level. We are not going to be human anymore fully. This one is following on from the first book. The first one has the female main character on the spaceship, and she's getting used to what the Oankali are. This is about her son, who is now on Earth, and what happens when he encounters other humans who are different. And I liked the ideas in it, and parts of it were good, but there were parts of it that frankly didn't work that well for me. I just thought it seemed a bit excessively overwritten, which is not a big book either. The fact that it was overwritten in places was sort of marked it down a bit. Basically, I gave this 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and I was like, say, good science fiction book. Only read it if you've read the first one. But if you've got something more important to read, then this might be sort of fairly secondary, frankly. And indeed it was to me. I will be reading the third one because, well, I've read the first 2 now, so I kind of have to read the third. The 7th and penultimate book that I read, I don't have a physical copy of. I read it on my Kindle. And that would be Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens. This is my first ever Charles Dickens book. As you might know, I'm not an expert on classics, and to be honest, I don't read them that often. Once every 6 months or something I'll read a classic. And I read this as part of a group read, of which I'll link down in the description box below. I'm happy that I've read this book. I didn't mark it too highly. I actually gave it 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and I'll explain why. I like the writing of the book, and indeed the world as such, in the way he describes it. I mean, Dickens does a phenomenal job at the writing. He really does. I love the writing, and indeed I will read more Dickens because the writing was phenomenal. But the world that this is in, and in particular, and the references that it has, is Victorian London, and the casual attitude and the casual violence towards children in this book, I really found hard to stomach. I obviously do not like, same as most people, the idea of violence towards children makes me want to hurt somebody, frankly. Ideally the person hurting the children. And the casual attitude in this, whilst it's understandable for the era, I still can't handle well, and it made it part really difficult to read, and frankly a few times I was unsure if I could actually continue reading and actually finish the book, because it was so unpleasant to read at times. However, I did continue because I never not finish a book. I've actually never quit reading a book, and I just love the reading, but just be aware of that sort of attitude towards children, and it can be a very difficult book to read, I think, although I will be reading more Dickens, as I've said. The 8th and final book that I read this month was Bête, I think you pronounce it that way. It is French, and it actually means Beast, by Adam Roberts. This is a short but interesting book overall, and the idea in it is quite simply, what would happen if we put essentially very advanced little chips into the brains of animals, and if animals interfaced with these chips could then become sentient, or at least appear to become sentient, would we still be killing animals like we do and consuming them on such a large scale? And it asks all sorts of questions to do with this. I actually found the questions fascinating, and overall I really did enjoy the book. There were a few points in the book that I thought was a bit odd and didn't quite mesh with the story as a whole, but I did really enjoy it. And it's all about one guy and his sort of journey around England, interacting with other people and indeed with these now possibly sentient animals, although he doesn't particularly like them. And it's an odd concept, and one that I haven't come across before, but it's a really interesting one, and it's really actually worth reading, and I really did enjoy it. I gave this a very high 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. Couldn't quite get 4 because of the few moments that, like I said, felt a bit odd compared to the other story, but it really was good, and I would recommend this to everyone, frankly. So with that said, that's it for everything I've read in February. If you've read any of these, or if you would like to read any of them, then please leave me a comment down below and we can have a conversation about them. If you have any recommendations for books for me, then also feel free to leave them in the comments below as well. With that said, that is it for this video, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you another day. Bye for now.